Hello everyone, and welcome to Sephiroth's journey. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm a really big fan of Sephiroth, and I really pay attention to his attacks and what he does, so I decided to make a video about how much I know him, how did he evolve through the years with me, and what I hope he will become in the future. The future being, you know, a few days on the remake. Now obviously there's a spoiler warning here, but it's for the old titles like the PS1 game, Crisis Core, you know, Kingdom Hearts, any game where Sephiroth appeared before the remake. I can't spoil the remake because I didn't see it. I am using a few screenshots and clips from the trailers and stuff from the remake, but it's nothing like spoiler, it's just like, you know, the ones where he appears on the first and the second trailer, the ones from E3, you know. So unless you literally didn't want to see any trailer at all, you should be fine. I hope you guys are curious about how did Sephiroth grow through the years. It's very interesting, so I hope you guys like it. So let's start and let's fucking go. Through history, Sephiroth had different kinds of battle stances. The first one is Materia Gasumi, which is, you know, the one everyone knows. Then we have this one, specifically the Auto Draw, which is the one he uses on Kingdom Hearts 1.
I'm fucking dead, dude. I'm fucking dead, dude. I'm fucking dead.
And then we have his own spin on the Materia Gasumi, because I couldn't find this anywhere else, which is the one that he uses on Kingdom Hearts 2. And last but not least, the one that he uses nowadays is the sexy hip stance, which we'll get into that later. So starting with the first one, the funny thing is, despite being probably the most famous one, you know, for the classic players, he actually doesn't use this ever again. Like, in combat. Except on Crisis Core, because, you know, it's a prequel, and we also see, like, on one of the intros on NT, but that's it. We don't see this one ever again, you know, the most iconic one. Maybe after getting Omnislash up his ass, right? And the end of 7, he was like, you know what? This shit is not working, so we're gonna move to the next one. So what did he do?
What the fuck?
Hello kid, I'm Sephiroth. I am here to try a new style. Are you ready?
Sephiroth, no.
Sephiroth, yes.
This is the first actual fighting style we ever see because it's on real time. Now, this is not a proper fighting style because you can tell he only has one move. He goes forward, slash, slash again, slash, forward, slash. He jumps on you and slash. He teleports, he jumps on you and then he slashes again. But you fucking die anyway, so... Even though this style is not being used again, this specific attack is one of his favorite and uses in almost every game he appears, but he changes the name every time. For example, Draw Slash, or in the CDINT, Aeolian Onslaught. Oh my god, fucking god. Okay, 1 second. Aeolian Onslaught. Fucking hell, man. The next attack that we see on Sephiroth very often is everyone's favorite, Heartless Angel. Heartless Angel is actually not a very uncommon attack in Final Fantasy, but I think it gained a lot of fame with this boss fight specifically. basically puts your HP to 1 and MP sometimes. It depends on each game, but it's essentially that you are gonna get fucked on the next hit. This is probably the attack he has the most on almost every game he's in. I can't think of any game on top of my head that doesn't have this attack. It is also on Crisis Core, but you need to fight the experiment mission, not on the story mode. Also on the gacha games are Record Keeper, even though they smoke some weed when making this attack on the mobile game. Kingdom Hearts 2, where it works the same way, and in Dissidia, where instead of taking your HP, which will be fucking broken by the way, it takes your bravery away. On the PSP, it puts the bravery to 1 if no one stops you, and on NT, it puts a 10-second counter which will break the enemy unless someone attacks you, doesn't matter who it is, so their teammates will try to stop you. Is this an attack that is gonna be on the remake? Probably yes. Like, I am 90% sure if we fight Sephiroth, this attack is going to be in for sure. So what other attack do we see on Sephiroth very often, and I also believe will make it into the remake? That is Shadow Flare. Shadow Flare is this annoying ass attack Sephiroth has on most of the games, where he starts throwing little balls and they all go through you and they explode in your face. Either that, or it's just a big ass explosion like the original one. The ones people remember the most is the little balls from Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, especially 1 I'd say, and our favorite ones from fucking Dissidia Duodecim, right? We all love that game, and having fun and engaging gameplay on this fucking game where you are only spamming the same attack over and over until you hit someone and then you combo with like a fucking assist. Heaven's like, I don't fucking know, but Jesus Christ, I hate it. This is like my least favorite incarnation of Sephiroth ever in this fucking game, but we'll get to that later. The one from NT, if you think about it, is more faithful to the original, even though this attack is kind of like his worst attack in the game. It only is useful sometimes. It's basically an explosion that spawns in your face. Now, that's not bad, right, in theory. The problem is it's so slow. It's super hard to land. The good thing about it is it sucks you in, so there's a little bit of benefit there, but you barely use this at all except in some situations. I use it the most when I can't get physically in an engage, or I want to break the core even though it's pretty slow, but it's a low risk move. So there's its uses, but you know, it's Next one we have Octaslash. Octaslash has become basically like the most iconic limit break when it comes to Sephiroth, right? They were like, we need an alternative to Omnislash for Sephiroth, so they came out with Octaslash. Now you might be wondering, but Seiren, we're in Kingdom Hearts 1. There was no Octaslash until Crisis Core, and I will be like, okay, hold up. Wait a minute and hear me out on this, okay? Octa comes from 8, right? So it's 8 slashes. And obviously this version does more than 8. But have you ever counted how many are these? Let's give it a go. That's right, 16, the double of 8. So it's definitely the first console we ever get to see on Octaslash. Now you might be like, but Seiren, I saw what you did there. That is not 16, that's 15. You just counted the little slash before the dunk at the end as 2 hits. And I will be like, okay, I'm gonna take your argument. Let's say that one doesn't count even though it's literally 2 hitboxes, right? The slash and the effects of the dunk. That is 15, right? Do you want to know how many hits Omnislash does? 15. So there you go. I win anyway. And the other interesting thing to keep in mind here is that except the Dissidia versions, including Opera Omnia, which is pretty much the one from Duodecim, right? Octaslash ends with a dunk, just like the one from Kingdom Hearts. So there is an emphasis there of the final slash going down, just like we see on NT, which is the latest iteration of Octaslash, which is very close to Crisis Core if you look closely. So I think it's very fair to say that this is the first iteration of Octaslash. There is no official information about it, this is not something that can be confirmed, but I present you the evidence. Now there's one more attack that we got from Kingdom Hearts 1 Sephiroth, and even though this one is probably Black Materia or referencing Black Materia, I'm not gonna count it because he doesn't really throw a big meteor on you or several meteors. They just spin around and he just throws you like a big ass Genki Dama or whatever the fuck this is. So I'm gonna pass on Black Materia for now and I'll show you guys later. But I have a better one that you probably did not expect from Kingdom Hearts 1, and is Heaven's Light. You'll be like, what the fuck, Heaven's Light? We don't see that until Duodecim. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, hey, wait up. Heaven's Light is an upward swing that comes from a spin beforehand. He first spins and then he swings up. Now, even though this could be too early to call this Heaven's Light, this is the first iteration. It probably, like Octaslash, didn't have a proper name, but the move is there. And this specific move is repeated towards several games, mainly Dissidia. Dissidia was where this move had a name, but before Dissidia it was on Kingdom Hearts 2 and Advent Children. Wait, Advent Children? What the fuck? Yes, look closely.
I've thought of a wonderful present for you.
It's the exact same attack. Now you might be wondering if I just look at Sephiroth too much. Maybe. That being said, I don't think this attack will be on the remake, because this kind of stuff is more designed for aerial combat, and as we saw on the remake gameplay so far, the game is pretty grounded. We barely leave the floor unless you can hit someone in the air. So this probably is not gonna happen anytime soon. Maybe on the future, maybe on part 2, I don't know, but on this one, probably not. Now that we left behind the first iteration of Sephiroth, despite his combat style being very lackluster, he had a lot of signature moves. But he needs to polish his combat style, something to be more defined, more aggressive. And while this was true in Advent Children, it was also seen in this boss fight, one of my favorites, Kingdom Hearts 2. Sephiroth has changed. He knows precision is not that important anymore. He needs aggression. He needs to go forward. He needs to overwhelm the enemy. He is not going to let you breathe. He is not going to let you recover. He will go on you as much as he can, and we can already tell by how this fight starts. His first new attack, Oblivion, the attack that ruined many childhoods.
Ah, fucking dicks.
That's enough. Alright. Okay, I'm by my. Ah!
He looks cool. Oh! Well.
This is gonna be so great! Whoa, 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 whoa!
You get the idea. This move was given name in Dissidia Final Fantasy, and aside that, we don't see this attack again except, let's say, Brief Exodus or Record Keeper, where the attack doesn't really look that good. And as cool as it is, I don't really think we will see this attack on the remake. Maybe we will, but considering the style they are approaching with Sephiroth from what we've seen so far, I don't think we will get to see this one. Won't complain though if we do. Aside this, we don't really see more unique attacks, just slashes by themselves, but we get to see the first time I will actually call the Black Materia. The reason I consider this one and not the one from Kingdom Hearts 1 is because he holds his arm up like he does on other instances where he uses Black Materia, like Dissidia. And he also throws you meteors, which I will completely accept as Black Materia. The thing is, people consider Black Materia a big meteor, but I think it is also possible to throw several little ones. I say this because in Dissidia you have to fully charge a Black Materia to get a big meteor, otherwise you will get a little one. Therefore, I think this version of Black Materia is completely valid. Now, obviously, this is not as big as the one, you know, from the fucking original one, but they want to pay homage to the OG Black Materia by adding this little attack. which I think is a nice touch, but sadly on NT is fucking garbage. But for lore purposes, we have to keep Sephiroth with Black Materia because fucking remove that trash from NT and add a proper HP, thank you very much. That being said, our journey is almost done. We have to go over 2 more instances that define Sephiroth as a character and how his fighting style is like. So let's check the next one.
Good to see you, Cloud.
Sephiroth.
After studying precision from Kingdom Hearts 1 and aggression from Kingdom Hearts 2, we reach Dissidia, where he explores the last part he needs to reach perfection: magic. Now, despite this being my least favorite style that Sephiroth has explored, it had to be reached eventually. He no longer uses any stances, he has got rid of that, he knows better. Now he will just stare at you menacingly while moving his hips. That's right, there's no realistic katana stances, there is no shit like that, he just stares at you while moving his hips, hypnotizing you, so you can get distracted and fall.
Why won't you take up your sword?
Now you guys think I'm fucking kidding when I mean this is his ultimate stance, but I mean it because not only is on NT and Opera Omnia, there's this fucking screenshot from the remake that if you look at it, it has literally the same fucking pose. Like, just look at it, you can tell. You can already feel his hips moving by just looking at this image. So, if we ever face Sephiroth, which, looking by this image, I guess we will, I don't know. Maybe it's just like fucking around with you, right? But I think everyone expects at this point that we're gonna face Sephiroth, right? When you look at this, you will remember this and be like, damn, he's really moving his hips. And you will remember this video and be like, gotta watch out because this is his ultimate form. In this iteration of Sephiroth, he barely uses his sword and uses more as a fucking magic stick, I guess? This is where we explore the magic side of Sephiroth. He throws waves with his blade, he attacks you once but you get hit multiple times, and also goes for a more defensive approach, which is a brand new attack which I believe might make it in the remake because it makes sense to me, and is Scintilla. This attack I believe is based on Advent Children when Sephiroth blocks Cloud for the first time, because he blocks you and then he hits you twice. But they added a little bit of flavor here where the first slash hits you multiple times and then he finishes you off. This is the only attack where Sephiroth is a little bit more defensive, so it's interesting to see that he has less aggressive options in case he needs to defend himself, which is good. The one time he leaves you an opening so you can attack him, nope, you get parried. The main problem with this attack is that if you miss the block, it leaves you very open. It's really easy to punish this attack if you don't parry the enemy properly. This is especially for the NT iteration where the tracking is worse, so if you miss, it is very likely for you to get countered. This attack is not very recommended to use, especially in competitive play, because it's really risky. It is really rewarding though to use it, because you can even parry spells and teleport instantly to the enemy. High risk, high reward, although I personally found it too risky for the reward it offers. The other attack carried over but only to Opera Omnia is Fervent Blow, so it's not super relevant. And last, but not least, a very important attack.
To the promised land.
probably the most iconic move from Sephiroth at this point, right? We don't really have to explain where it comes from. We know it exists, and I personally find really amazing that they made this an attack. It is also a very good move because you can hit people all the way down. The higher you are, the more damage you will do. And funnily enough, this is probably one of the most satisfying attacks to land in Dissidia. Both NT and duodecim versions are good on their own ways. They work differently. Hell's Gate is faster on NT, but it does bravery damage. Duodecim one is slower, but it does HP damage. So far, this is not on any other game, aside Record Keeper and other gachas. But I guess it's safe to say we will see this attack again very soon on the remake. I think this is a yes when it comes to is this attack gonna be in. I think we all know the answer. At least not soon though, so we should be prepared when the time comes. We saw everything he's capable of, his entire arsenal, all his attacks. So, how could he go any further? Can he combine everything he learned through this journey? Precision, aggression, and magic. There's only one element left. That is despair. All has led to this moment. One of the best, if not the best, Sephiroth ever made. He has the precision, he has the aggression, he has the magic. All combined makes the ultimate form for Sephiroth, Dissidia NT Sephiroth. Dissidia NT Sephiroth carries his legacy perfectly. He is a character that, the more afraid you are of him, the stronger he gets. He has the ability to cancel his animations, being able to attack several times, add more pressure, break formations, being the most disruptive character in the entire game. He can easily switch from target to target, getting from very bad situations that no other character will, having such a good momentum that could destroy your team before you could even imagine. However, this comes as a high price. Your attacks are slower than usual, and you need to be very precise, because you can only cancel your animations if you dash at a very specific moment where you only have 3 frames, that is 0.05 seconds. You need to be very careful when pressing it, but if you do, the battlefield is yours. Thank you so much for coming with me on this journey. We learn about Sephiroth, we learn how he evolved, and what could he become. I personally hope for the remake to have a very similar approach that they did on Dissidia NT. I think he's perfect the way he is on that game, and if they go with a similar approach in this game, I think it will go very well. I can't wait to play on the 10th. I will be streaming it if anyone's interested, and it's something that I thought I will never say. I'm going to play a remake of one of my favorite games in a matter of days. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? If you're as much of a fan of Sephiroth as I am, I hope you really liked this video. Sorry if I miss a few things here and there. I probably missed them or I felt they were not necessary. And I really can't wait to see what he has for us. I'll see you guys on the next one.